Okay, question 17 is about reading information from a graph. It says this graph shows the distance Alfie and Chen walked in an afternoon. They started at 1:45 and had 2 breaks. Really important to always read the information before any question because it gives you some idea of what's going on. So on the graph we've got the time along the bottom, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and we've got the distance that they're moving up the side. Now what you need to realise here is if we start at 0, if the line is going up, then they are moving forward. So this part of the graph is moving. This part of the graph is moving. However, get a different colour. This line here is not going up, and neither is this line. They are flat, they are horizontal. Now if it's not going up and it's flat, that means they can't be moving. So that must be when they had their break. So this is break number 1, and this is later on in the afternoon, so this is break number 2. Now, once we understand what's going on in the graph, we can answer the questions easily. It says, how many kilometres did they walk between the first and second breaks? Okay, so break number 1, if I follow it along, is actually level with 6. And break number 2, if I follow it along, is actually level with 10. Put that 2 on there. So how many kilometres did they walk between 6 and 10? Well, that has got to be 4 kilometres. That's the gap between 6 and 10, 4 kilometres. So the first answer has to be 4 kilometres. The second question says, at what time did Alfie and Chen start their second break? Well, the second break's this one later on in the afternoon. This point here is the start of the second break. This point here is the end of the second break. Now it says what time does it start the second break, so we need to start from this point. So we follow it down, looking for the time, straight line down. Now what we can't do is just take the easy option and say that it's 4 o'clock because it's not. It's actually one gap after 4 o'clock. So we need to figure out what each little gap is worth. Now, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. is obviously an hour, and we've got 4 little gaps. So if you split an hour into 4 little gaps, that means it's 15 minutes each. So it's going to go 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock. Or in other words, 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock. So this time that we're interested in here is going to be 4:15. And that's the second answer, 4:15. Notice there's no units here. So if there isn't any units given, you should always put your units in. So it's 4:15 p.m. And that's your answer. But we've got to make sure with any graph like this, you've got to understand what the different parts of the graph are. So if the line's going up, they're moving. If the line's flat, that means they must be having a break. Makes it much easier to answer the questions.